This is Leon Kennedy, and you are watching Resident in Evil.
Hey, it's Jill Valentine, and you're watching Resident in Evil.
And if you like what you're seeing, smash that like button and subscribe.
Resident in Evil.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله، يعطيكم العافية. معكم أخوكم فواز الشهري من ريزدنت ايفل، واليوم إن شاء الله معنا مقابلة جميلة مع أخواننا نيك ونيكول. نيك طبعا يؤدي دور ليون كينيدي في ريزدنت ايفل، ونيكول أيضا أدت دور جيل فالنتاين في ريزدنت ايفل 3 ريميك. أول شيء بإذن الله من بعد الله سبحانه وتعالى أحب أشكر هورر كون وأيضا الهب على هالمقابلة الجميلة. كان جدول الضيوف جدا مزدحم، ومع هذا احشروني مثل ما تقول غصب عشان أسوي هالمقابلة، فأحب أشكرهم شكر جميل جدا جدا على هالمقابلة السريعة إن شاء الله. على الرغم من جدولهم المزدحم صراحة ما قصروا وكانوا صدر رحب في هالموضوع هذا، ويعطيكم ألف عافية. ونبدأ المقابلة إن شاء الله. First I will just welcome you to Kuwait if you have anything to say about Kuwait.
We're just happy to be here. It's been such a cool experience so far, and we've been treated very well by everyone in this country, and we're really liking the food.
Really, dang it, you stole it. I was about to be like, the food's been amazing. Everyone has been so kind, and it's a pleasure.
Thank you. So the first question for Nick as Leon. Leon personality in Remake 2, according to your voice acting as him, called balanced and smart guy. Even he was 20 years old in Raccoon City incident. Did Capcom give you instruction about his character, or is it come from your creation? Did they told you this guy is like this, or it just came from you?
Capcom had very loose direction for me. They just wanted to make sure that I wasn't too badass because he was young and inexperienced. They urged me to not be so influenced by what has been done before. I was very familiar with all the games, all the ages of Leon, all the renditions, and they said forget about that if you can, and just really bring your personality into the role because that's why we cast you. So I did. I trusted that, and I trusted my director, and we formed the character together. So it all worked out.
I just recently know today from Al-Hub interview, which I will make in the description, guys. I recommend you to watch their interviews. I know you are really a fan of Resident Evil from the classic versions. What do you think about the Leon in the classic version and remake? And if you can prefer one, could you tell us who's the better one?
Well, that's kind of like comparing apples to oranges. I was lucky enough to speak with Paul Haddad before he died. Actually, he reached out to me when I was announced in the game, and he just gave me a really nice talk, like a passing of the torch sort of thing, and he just said that he's happy that I'm playing the role. He was a very sweet guy, and I gotta say, there's just something about him. The first character I ever controlled in a Resident Evil game was in 1998, and it was Paul Haddad's Leon. And that started so much for me. It changed my life. It became my favorite series in 1998 when I was 14 years old. And I'm a big nostalgia person. And I would just say, from my experience, I would say that Paul Haddad takes the cake on this one, 100%.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's go for the last question for you, my dear. In the village, Resident Evil village, we also Chris Redfield, who's also in the same power of Leon Kennedy. Just it's an imaginary answer. I need some answer from you as an imagine. In this date, 2022, we saw Chris Redfield. He's the guy who came out from BSAA, creating his own group. What do you think Leon in this time is doing? Last thing we know about him, he's a DSO member, government member, very valuable member in DSO, which is almost 15 years ago.
I would imagine he's trying to get out. He's become very jaded as the years have gone on. He's trying to make a difference, and nothing seems to be working. And I think he's just had it, and I think he's trying to find a way out.
Capcom did excellent job in Resident Evil 3 remake. This is actually most of Arabic fan, I think the worldwide, but I'm here specific for Arabic fan. Resident Evil 3 remake let's categorize, let's make a review for this game and categorize it for the reviews. If I say graphic, all of them will say 10 out of 10. If we say acting, all of them will say 10 out of 10. Storyline, characters, the villain, superhero, everything they will take 10 out of 10. There is only one thing which I think you are aware of it. I know it, most of the fans, it's the time play, the time of the game, which most of them, they call it as a DLC for Resident Evil 2. What do you think about this one? If you have any thoughts about this one, because what hurt us? It's a perfect game. It's a perfect game, but it's 1 hour long, which is make us really sad because everything is perfect. Everything. When we see Jill, the voice actor, of course, acting, of course, Nikolai, Jill Valentine, Carlos, Nemesis, Hunter, zombies, streets of the Raccoon City, because in remake 2 you will get in the streets only for limited time, and 3 you will get more time in the streets. There, in the classic version there is a park part also, a Raccoon Park, and also the clock tower. Of course you get to know it. This one is just scrapped. We don't know what's happening. What is your thought about this?
Well, first off, I will say I'm glad it left you wanting more, because that means I did my job, which was a very, very small part of a big grand machine of so many people that are involved in making those choices. So I, of course, had zero influence on...
Your part affects the most.
Thank
because
you.
As I told you, the Jill Valentine's lines and the way you voice acting, and the way you voice acting the Jill Valentine's, not me. I can make sure to show you a lot of comments that you have done it perfectly. And
Thank you so much. Yeah, so, I have no influence over what gets to stay and what doesn't get to stay, but I will say that, anytime you go into making a remake, not everyone is going to be happy, but I will encourage that we still have the original, and that's the good news. Like, it's still there, it still can be enjoyed and appreciated, and definitely the remake is just it's a different thing. It really is a different game. It has different pacing, it has a lot of changes, and I think everyone that was involved in it still really cares about the series and really cares about the story, and so I think they really tried to bring in a lot of pieces from the heart of the original and how many people love that, but it's a different game, so they made different choices, and believe me, don't I also wish I would always be down to do more Jill Valentine. So you want more? Me too. I also want more, always.
I'm sorry, I just want to make it clear here for if somebody didn't understand. When I talk about the short of this game, I didn't mean that it's not good. No, I mean, when you start something perfectly, then suddenly you stop. The people will say, oh, why you stop? It's perfect, completed. I think the rumor says, because this is my comment, my answer. I'm responsible of this one. They said that Capcom, because they have shortage time or something, because they are going to release the village, this is why they force everything. This is why they make it quickly like this. So anyway, we'll go to the next question, which is really my best question. I already told you off the camera, me as a specialized in analyzing Resident Evil, I will definitely say that you have done it perfect as Jill Valentine, as she's good-hearted and stubborn characters, and it was obvious when you talk to Carlos about Umbrella, also Murphy Seeker, also Nikolai and Nemesis. Same question I told Nick. Did Capcom explain to you about Jill Valentine and how you should act her voice?
So I definitely had an awareness of who this character was when I first auditioned for it, and like in many auditions, you get a breakdown of the character, and so they listed some of her most known traits, brave, fearless, little rebellious, like there's aspects of her where she just the relentlessness, the professionalism to just get up and keep going. And so some of those qualities were listed, but I think, part of what my job is to take words on the page that they've, are trying to capture an essence of something and throw my best hand at going, all right, well, here's what I think that looks like. Here's what I have to offer. And so when I was in that audition process, I think what I kind of showed up with was aligned with what they were sort of looking for. But I give a lot of credit to my cinematics director, Steve Kniebly, and the producers at Capcom, and so many of the artists that are involved, because I always felt like I had a safety net of people around me, where if I had a question, or if I was like, ooh, how do we think she might react in this? Or, ooh, I've had an idea, do you think that'll fit in? I always had people around me that I knew these characters well and knew what they were making, so I had a trusted team. But it was a really collaborative experience, and I was really grateful to be in an environment, and I think Nick has shared the sentiment before of they care, and so it's really lovely to come into these stories and for me, you have the awareness of all that came before, but my job is to be present here in the moment and go, this is where I am, this is how I'm reacting, this is what I've been through, and this is what's in front of me. And that's really how I kind of approach my work and bringing to life what's on the page, because a lot of people spent time putting that story together. So.
Now, I kept the last question as it's the fan favorite question. It's addressed to Jill Valentine, not Nicole Tompkins.
Okay. Oh, jeez.
Where are you now?
I wish I could tell you, but I just can't.
Because last thing about, of course you are, both of you are aware as a fan. I'm not talking about any future project. No. Jill Valentine is actually it's the number one female character in Resident Evil franchise. There is no question about it. But unfortunately, last appearance is in Resident Evil 5, which is I think almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So the fan, most of the fans, they told me, ask Nicole. I told her she's a voice actor. She's not a producer in Capcom. But really, they miss her. They miss her because last time it's 10 years ago. Chris, Leon, Claire, everybody, we saw them in CGI movies, in games, everything. But Jill Valentine just disappeared. Last official thing about Jill Valentine, it's a memo in the Revelation 2. She sent a memo to Barry Burton.
Yes, sorry.
And last official thing about Jill Valentine, she sent a memo to Barry Burton.
Right.
Barry Burton, he's saying that after the Resident Evil 5 incidents, they sent her to hospital to check up on her, and I'm coming back soon. This soon, it's transferred to be 10 years, and still nothing there.
I will say I am just as excited as you are and many of the fans to find out where she's been, and I really don't know what they're planning, and I hope that we someday will find out what she's been up to, but I can say I hope she's been resting. I think she earned it.
يعطيكم العافية. بالنهاية هاي كانت مقابلة خفيفة، ما شاء الله عليهم، كانوا من فعلا خفاف في المقابلة، وبقول لهم رسالة أخيرة إن شاء الله، بسألهم عن رسالة أخيرة يوجهونها للفانز.
To be honest, we're grateful that we have fans all over, but I'm not surprised because I've been all over the world, and almost every country I've been to, they bring up Resident Evil. I don't even mention who I am, and they ask me if I play video games. I say yeah, and they always say Resident Evil. I think it's just one of the most global franchises, and so we're just happy that you're also here. So
Thank you.
Yeah, just a huge thank you to all the fans in Kuwait. We're so honored. We've been so welcomed. It's so lovely to get to meet so many people while we're here. And honestly, always remember, without the amazing fans and the players that are playing these games, we wouldn't be here to get to continue to do what we're doing, and these games wouldn't be made if the fans weren't so passionate and lively and excited about these stories. So thank you, truly.